Hello, everybody. Hello, my beautiful friends, fellow seekers. Welcome to Ask Me Anything Q&A with Greg. How is everybody today? We are live on Insight Timer and the Tube of Views. Hello, Carrie. Good to see you. Hello, dear Jack. Nice to see you too. Peter Brook, my friend. Good to see you. You made it. You thought you weren't going to be able to. Hi, Gwen. Hello. How's everybody? Hello, Alicia. Good morning to you. I am playing you my new favorite song. Some of you will recognize this. Hello, hello. I am good, Jack. It is a nice Saturday for me. Happy Saturday to those who are still in it. Our friends in the future, happy Sunday to you. It is Gunther Gorg. I don't know how to say his last name. Gunther Gorg. Gorg. I'm sorry, Gunther. That is his name. And this is the song on Insight Timer. Gwen says, great, I'm sending you an email. You already sent me an email earlier. Are you saying you're sending me another one? That's awesome. Hello, hello. Who else is here? Welcome if you're new. Say hi. Tell us where you're from, how you're feeling. Rhonda! It's Rhonda Tiger. Hello, Rhonda dear. How are you? I did ask you questions, Gwen, so you're answering them, huh? I love that. Happy Saturday, everybody. This is a very special event. This is Ask Me Anything, where you literally can ask me anything. It's kind of a Q&A time, hangout time for our community, but also a chance to get to know each other a little bit better. Mostly you get to know me if you want. And it really can be anything. Peter once asked what my favorite food was, which I had to giggle at, but it was enjoyable to answer that question. Do you remember that, Peter Brook? It's so funny. Hello, Jackie. How are you? Is JoJo here? There she is. I always want to call Joanne JoJo for some reason. So I'm very curious to see if anybody is actually watching on... Oh, no, not how well. So I'm trying something new. I'm going live on YouTube at the same time, which means that the minute this live stream is over on Insight Timer, the video will be available up on the Tube of Views, so I don't have to upload anymore. Joanne's here. Good morning, Joanne. How are your wings? She recently had wing surgery, and we've all been sending her love, healing, and support. Peter Brook vaguely. Well, Peter, we've been through a lot. It does scroll too fast, you're right. How's everyone feeling today? Tell me how you are. Can everyone hear the music? Is this anyone's first time with us today? It's a little bit different than what I normally do for lives. Feeling relaxed, Rhonda says. I'm glad to hear that. Me too. I had a very chill morning. JoJo is awesome? Okay, I don't know why, but from my heart, I just lately want to call you JoJo. No one really calls you Joanne. Oh, okay. Her wings are slowly getting better, just no feeling in my hands still. Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Jackie is foggy-minded. Gotcha. You like JoJo too, Peter? I like it too. JoJo. When growing up, my family started taking to calling me Grego. So that is my family nickname. And my other family nickname is just my first letter of my first name, G. So I don't know why, but I always want to have just come up with nicknames for people. Just endearing, sweet nicknames. It's kind of funny. And G, yeah. Hey G, what's up? That's what people say sometimes. Jackass, did you join Gunther's live a few years ago when he did Mindful Rock and Phantom of the Opera? No, I did not. If it was a few years ago, I don't think I knew about Gunther back then. Jackie's growing up was Boo. That's so fun. How did that come about? Bro G. Jojo says, yes, apparently 80% of women that have this operation have this problem and they don't know why. Which hand? Which hand? Left or right? Pretty much only called Joanne when I was in trouble. That's awesome. Left, right. Hold out your left hand. Palm facing up. Carrie says I'm her little bro G. It sounds like a really bad rapper name. You can't twist it? Okay, hold it whatever's comfortable. Can you hold it like this? Or down? Either one. Just... Yeah, there's Okay, interesting. You have a block to your energy flow, which is not detrimental and not permanent, I'm sensing. But the operation has... Oh, interesting. The operation has cut off the energy flow. Not the physiological flow, but the operation has, it's the hand of the operation side. Yeah, that's, I didn't even know that, but that's what I was sensing. So the operation has cut off the energy flow in order for you to, so the reason, okay, I'm just channeling this right now, but the, this time is for you, not to be receiving anybody else's energy. So the hand, which the left is receptive and the feminine, which I'm not surprised that women are having this come up, but it's temporarily shut down the energetic receptivity in this arm, okay? And that's why you're getting the tingles, is because it's temporarily shut this off so that you're not bringing in anybody else's energy through your left-hand side, because this is a time for you to regenerate and rejuvenate your wings, basically. But on that side, what the message I'm getting is that, and we weren't going to do messages today, but I love Joanne dearly, and so I just was inspired to do this. So the message that I'm getting is that really take this to heart, Jojo, and internalize this. So if somebody is asking something of you, have clear boundaries. No, I'm healing and recovering right now, right? Unless you know it's a yes, right? And then you can take that and you can say yes to it. And so what this is going to do is it's going to allow you a little bit of space and time. So instead of bringing in other people's energy receptively, which is natural for anybody who has strong feminine energy to begin with, you're just in your own energy, and be very conscious of how it's moving around your body. Be conscious of how, whether it's feeling stuck in the surgery shoulder at one point, or whether it's down to the elbow, it's going to move back and forth, okay? It's going to move up and down is moved up and down the arm, because what's happening is, because of the surgery, is freeing this part of you up, right? What's happening is it's rewiring these parts of you. So basically the part reaching out into the world is getting rewired because you have a new wing to support it, and the part receiving from the world and bringing it in, the left-hand side, is getting rewired energetically. The whole arm is getting rewired because it has a new wing to support it. Okay, and so this is just a time of rest and recuperation, rejuvenation, restoration, recreation, and just really a time for you, because it's prepping your body to be ready for that when the wings are fully healed and then can actually unfurl, that you'll be ready to support their extra new energy. Because with the way that your arms are currently energetically, vibrationally structured, they're the old arms that were supported by and connected to the old wings. Okay, so you're growing new wings. So you're going to have some ups and downs with that. Does that make sense? I don't know where I got that. I mean, I know where I got that, but I don't know. I don't know. I've never thought of something like that. Oh, is Suleiman here? Makes perfect sense, Carrie says. Peter Brook needed to hear that too. Joanne, I love that. It's worse in the hand, but definitely a bit numb in the arm. Yes, it is a reset for sure, Peter Brook. Awesome. Yay. All right, let's put other music on. There we go. All right, how's this music in terms of being able to hear it? Definitely makes sense, says Jojo. I love that. Perfect. Love this for you. I really see, I mean, the word unfurl, it feels so energetically accurate, because you're kind of in a cocoon stage right now, right? And then you're going to be like a butterfly, where when you're fully 100% again, you're going to step out of that and your wings are going to unfurl, and your arms need to be ready. Your right arm needs to be ready, energetically speaking, to reach out into the world, to put yourself out into the world. The left arm needs to be ready to receive differently. Yes, I love this for you. Yes, one-hand typing is slow. I think I need to turn this song up. Can you hear the music? How's that? It's very soft. Very soft. Suleiman, happy Saturday to you, my friend. All right. Cool. Well, we've had a great kickoff already. Beautiful music, helping Jojo feel better and get some insights. What else do you guys want to know? This is literally Ask Me Anything Q&A with Greg. So, Jackie says, Grego, can you sense why my mind is tense, foggy? Not sure if I can ask. If not, all good. Oh, well, I might be able to if I tap into you. Oh, are people wanting to ask about guidance and things? Okay, well, we can do that because it is an Ask Me Anything. But this is also your opportunity to get to know me better. Or anything. You might want to ask about healing, or who knows. It's really anything goes. Alicia is needing some guidance on whether to continue a friendship that my husband feels threatened by, as it is with another male, and there was some text messages with love, but I have assured him it's just friendship. I'm in a delineating. Oh, you are. Oh, okay. You're delineating because. Sorry, chat scrolls weirdly. I don't want to hurt my husband, but I want to keep his friendship. Help this friend. Love your team. Have some guidance for me, please. Oh, Alicia. Hey, Nancy. Good to see you, my old friend. How are you? Okay, so I'm going to have to take it first thing first. Here we go. So, who was... I think Jackie said, can I... Why your mind is tense and foggy? All right, Jackie, just give me a sec here. Well, your mind is tense because you're overthinking. Your mind is foggy because the overthinking is causing you to consider too many variables. So really what you need to do is just get back. Well, I don't like to say what you need to do. You're allowing the mind to run the show. And one of the best solutions for that is just simply come back to the moment, becoming present with whatever helps you stay present. Because the mind lives in the physical world. It does not live in the other dimensions. It does not have access to any vibration higher than this physical 3D environment that we live in. It is restricted to time and space. It is capable of perceiving more than that, but it needs help. And it needs help from the heart to do that, because the heart exists as a portal across all sorts of different dimensions and energies. You've noticed that whenever, like if you get your heart broken, or something happens that makes you feel sad, if you're emotionally in tune, even to a little bit of a degree, you can notice that while you're feeling sad or while you're feeling heartbroken, you also have the capacity to feel thankful or feel gratitude or feel love and appreciation for someone or something else. The heart has the capacity to hold all these different factors and variables in it at the exact same time. The mind's job is to observe and focus. And when we allow the mind to try to focus on too many things, even though some people are fantastic at multitasking, when we allow the mind to do that, especially from the place of trying to figure out the future or process the past, then we can get cloudy and we can get confuzzled and we can get all tensed out. Hopefully that makes some sense for you, Jackie. Hi, Chantel. Good to see you. Oh, thank you, Chantel. It is nice to be back. We're back in full force. I do have some housekeeping to attend to shortly after we get some more people in. But let me see. Jackie, how does that feel? How does my answer feel? I'm never attached to right or wrong. I just am here to be of service. Although today I'm here to answer any questions. Okay, so that was Jackie's answer. Let's see what Alicia. Try to remember that your husband is responsible for his own feelings, and that there's nothing that you can say or do that can necessarily affect or change those, because the way that he is feeling is based on what he's believing and what he has defined. He may be living from a definition that in your committed relationship, any woman he's in a committed relationship with, because he's a man, he may think it's impossible. He may have created the definition where it is impossible to be friends with a man. I can vouch for that not being true on a global level. I am friends with many women and it's not sexual. Although I don't have a committed relationship right now. But the best thing that you can do is be lovingly allowing of where he's at, and hold it all in your heart. Don't try to catch when you're feeling it click in your mind and you're getting to think about it too much. Be present with the is-ness of it. If the friendship is the way that you want it to be, and it feels good and freeing and open and supportive and loving, and you wish to be that way also with your husband, both of those are possible. It's up to you and your definitions. It's up to you and the meanings that you assign to that. I love how Bashar says that life is inherently meaningless. Now you may take that negatively, but what he means is any particular thing that you experience or witness in life inherently is neutral. We're the ones who assign meaning. That's how we grow. We assign meaning. That's how we create belief systems. The collective meaning comes from many different individuals assigning a similar meaning in agreement, in a collective agreement, so that then those beliefs are kind of intermingling. But the collective agreement isn't what's important in that instance. What's important is each person's individual belief. I've heard another channel, Lee Harris's guides, or Z's, have said that once 30% of the population consistently believes the same thing, then there's a paradigm shift. Then the belief shifts globally or throughout the entire collective, right? And when you think about this, that defies math, because you would think that more than 50% would need to believe differently. But when only 30% consistently hold a belief or a vibration, if that's truly what tips the balance, then you really don't need everybody to agree with you. So Alicia, your husband doesn't have to agree with how you see the friendship. And there may be things, and I mean, I'm not the person to necessarily talk to about relationship advice. But the heart knows everything. The mind can only see as far as like the headlights on a car. But your heart knows everything. The heart knows every single step of your journey you've been on. It's aware of everywhere you're going. There's this. The mind has a tendency, because it is designed this way, to question, right? But questions don't always lead to answers. And even if they lead to answers, the mind tends to want more questions after it gets more answers. And so it gets into this vicious spiral. Whereas the heart just knows. And there's this beauty in tapping into the knowingness of something, of how it feels, of trusting, of having that degree of faith. You know, Bashar has this wonderful mantra that I've been starting to, well, he has this wonderful thing he said that I've been starting to use. I know that I'll know what I need to know when I need to know it. Like, that's the epitome of surrender and trust and being present. And so that would be my last comment on that. Nancy, so good to see you. How have you been? How's Brockport? Jack asks, have you ever or would you do past life regression? I've had that experience myself, Jack. I've never done that for somebody else. And I don't know that I would, because my belief system is, well, I wouldn't call it past life regression. If you've ever been on one of the journeys, the energy journeys that I do, where we've gone to meet a lost fragment of our soul, that from a certain perspective is past life regression. But I don't think of things as past life regression anymore, because we're not really regressing. I don't believe in regression. I believe in progress. I believe in, not progress, but I believe that we are constantly expanding, that we're never going backwards. So I think for me, what's more valuable is reclaiming a lost fragment of our soul, for example. Reclaiming pieces of ourselves that I like to say that we tucked away for safekeeping in our heart, that are still very much part of ourselves, but that we wish to reintegrate or reintroduce ourselves to. So I don't know that I will ever do past life regression, but then again, who knows? Because when you're channeling the Council of Seven, really anything goes. Let me see who I missed. All right, that was Jack's question. Mary, can you discuss the current energies in the world? I can, in fact. Last week, we did a live where somebody asked about the shift. And that video is up on my tube of views, and I just made a shorter clip of it, which I haven't uploaded yet. But I'm actually going to let the council talk about that. Hi, Sister Sunshine. Good to see you. It has been a minute, isn't it? I am in southern Utah. I've settled down in southern Utah, outside the St. George area, and I am really happy and content here. Going to stay for a little while until I'm ready to go somewhere else, but it's really nice to be landed. All right, Mary, let me get you an answer. Dear guides and councils, Dearest Mary, thank you. Thank you kindly for this beautiful and intentional question that you ask. And hello to all our beautiful friends. We greet you from the energetic realms and the vibrations of other dimensions of higher vibrations. And this question is indeed on many people's mind right now. But Mary, in particular, you're asking, we believe, because you are wanting to get a grasp or a hold on what is going on with a variety of energies. And while this question may seem to have a fairly high degree of urgency or importance in your mind, your heart is not as concerned with this. Your heart is more interested in the energies that are going on within you. For everything that you witness and experience is a reflection of you. It is a reflection of what you think of, what you focus on, your belief systems, the meaning you have assigned to things. And you know this is true for when you bump into an individual that you haven't met before and begin discussing something that may be on the public playing field, so to speak, and you find that they have a completely different viewpoint and perspective. Many humans on the planet at this time have a tendency to find that if the perspective of this person that they're visiting with is in stark contrast to the perspective that they have, they will have this immediate tendency to follow the mind's inclination to say, that person must be wrong. Well, this is not the case. Simply what is being shared is another perspective of many, for there are as many perspectives on the planet as there are beings. And we don't just say human beings, for there are much more than human beings on the planet. Nick, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if you will. So, again, back to your main question. What is really important to ask, more so than this particular question, Mary, is how is Mary, and fill in your name if any of you is relating to this particular question of Mary's, how is Mary responding to the energies that Mary is experiencing? And in the answer to this, if you ask your heart this question, you will begin to find what is truly essential for you, and that has nothing to do with what is going on for anyone else in the world, nothing about what you read, what you see, or what you hear. Now, generally speaking, there is a massive vibrational shift occurring on the planet. This is occurring collectively, but it is occurring collectively because each individual is on their journey of choosing. Now, what do we mean by this? Many, many years ago, our dear channel Greg first heard about the call from the universe for humans to choose between love and fear. And this is essentially what this time of choosing boils down to. Every single moment of every single day, we invite you to listen to your heart. If you are choosing something with your mind, or if you're choosing something with your heart, it makes you feel heavy, makes you feel weighed down, it makes you feel laden, it makes you feel sluggish, it makes you feel foggy or tense. This is the mind choosing a more fearful perspective. You know that you are choosing a more loving perspective, a more love-filled perspective, when whatever you are choosing in any given moment brings you a lightness, a sense of freedom, a sense of ease, a sense of flow, a sense of synchronicity, a connection, a sense of fulfillment, whatever the positive emotions you are wanting to experience in life. And excuse us, when we speak of choosing, we are not talking about grand life decisions. We are talking about all decisions, even the simplest one of, will I have a salad? Will I have a sandwich? Will I eat a burger or order pizza? Will I make pasta tonight? Will I take a nap or read a book or watch a show? Even within these simple choices and decisions, always choose that which feels the best. Now, our dear friend Bashar has a wonderful tool, a formula, if you will. He calls it a formula for this particular type of guidance. He calls it the excitement formula. We highly encourage that everybody in attendance right now takes a moment at any time that you feel so inspired or remembering to look up his particular formula. And we are referring him to you, because we love and appreciate his work, and also our dear channel Greg loves and appreciates his work, but there is really no clearer statement of the formula from which you can live your life. There is no need for us to repeat what he has been so elegantly repeating for 40 plus years. We will tell you this though, if you do intend to, if you feel so inspired and intend to follow this excitement formula, do not just take it at face value. Really listen to what he is recommending in terms of following this particular formula, and you will find that your life begins to unfold much more magically and vibrantly than you could have ever imagined. It is indeed cultivating a certain state of being, or as we like to say, a state of is-ness. This has been a very long answer to your question, Mary. We hope that this has provided you some solace, some inspiration, and potentially some insights, and we will leave you with this for now. Really great question. I agree, Jack. Oh, you love the answer? Awesome. Thank you. Jeanette, my dear friend from the north, how are you, sweetheart? Mary, beautiful question. How are you feeling about that? Hi, Jeffrey. Good to see you. Sorry, guys. It's a little hard to keep up with chat, especially once I go into the channeling state. I'm just reading through what you guys have been saying. Jeanette, so good to see you. I'm so happy to see you. Let's see if we have anybody from YouTube. No worries. I need a second monitor so I can manage all this. The excitement formula, indeed. Bashar.org. Check it out. Nancy's going through a situation, but I have faith it will be fine. Brockport's a little cold still, but warming up. I'm glad to hear that. I do not miss Rochester. I miss saying that we're neighbors, though. That was fun. All right, guys, what else? It's question and answers with Greg. And ask me anything. Jeanette is calling in spring and new moon blessings. I love that. Hi, Madeline. Good to see you. She came in during the channeling state and didn't want to interrupt. Oh, you can always type. Everybody else will talk to you. I'm not actually watching chat when I'm channeling because I do it with my eyes closed. Jeanette, thank you. She says I look amazing. It's not just because I have a golden glowing pyramid behind me. I feel really, really good, Jeanette. There's a lot of amazing things happening for me right now. So I honor and appreciate you witnessing and reflecting that back to me. So it's really, really nice to hear that. I do have siblings, Jeff. I have an older brother and I have a younger sister. My older brother is actually a mindfulness coach within a particular tradition. And we love to share about our particular journeys regarding, our services and the way that we're approaching our businesses and whatnot. So yeah, I have an older brother and a younger sister who I love dearly. No longer, my parents are gone and all my grandparents are dead. They've all croaked. They're basically somewhere else or having another life or hanging out energetically. But I always feel my mama and my daddy. But I really love my brother and my sister quite a lot. And they're back in Rochester near our friend Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. Distinguished. Oh, thank you. Yes, I've been experimenting with different beard shapes for the winter, and I've settled on this one right now, and I'm really liking it personally. Although there's a lot of white, so it makes it difficult to see in certain lighting. Oh, Carrie, good question. Oh, wait, we have more questions. Jack says, how did you feel when the council made themselves known to you? Okay, so great question, Jack. And then Carrie said, where did the Council of Seven come through you? Okay, so these two sort of relate to each other. So the Council first began revealing themselves to me last January, 2024. I was in a particularly deep meditation before my life went into massive transition in May. And I was at the tail end of this meditation, and I'd been I had already launched as a teacher an Insight Timer, and I'd gone live December 2023 and started doing energy readings for people. And the channeling aspect of that, which I've always been very intuitive in my life and throughout my spiritual journey. I've been on the spiritual journey for over 35 years. I've been meditating for over 35 years. So I've always been cultivating my intuition. And at that time, at the end of 2023, early 2024, I'd spent a few years thinking about, I was told by a particular guide that was channeled, that I met through a channel, that I'm a channel. But I didn't ever think that I would be channeling anybody or a group of anybody's. I always sort of spent time thinking about, well, in what ways am I a channel? Because I believe everybody's a channel, or has the capability and capacity and ability to be a channel. So years before I became an Insight Timer teacher, I settled on that what made me the happiest was to channel love to other people, to hold space, to hold a loving space. Loving allowance has been one of my biggest themes over the last 15 years. And so I defined that my type of channeling was channeling love. And that's what I started to do in my lives. And it wasn't anything, it was just natural for me. So at the end of this meditation, it was really high vibe. I don't know if anyone's ever had one, but I just was completely somewhere else. And then I came back to my body and I thought, someone is coming. And I didn't know what it meant, except that it meant that someone was coming that I was going to be channeling. And so I was like, oh, that's cool, because this is something that I'd never expected after 15 years of hearing that I was a channel or knowing that I was a channel. So I got really, really excited. So then last April, almost a year ago, so I believe it was the end of April, and I always ask Peter Brook because she drew a picture. I told everybody about the council on one of my lives last April, and they came to me in a meditation. They were hovering on a cloud, and they were all cloaked with hoods and very shrouded, but their energy was so pure and so beautiful and so loving, and they kind of hung out at my crown chakra, just above it in this meditation. And then about a month later, I was in a meditation, and they threw off their cloaks, and they were all beautifully dressed. I don't even know, I don't even have a visual for it, but I just remember feeling like, oh, they're so beautifully dressed. And they began swirling around my head, shooting rainbow-colored laser beams of laser light into my third eye, and mostly into my third eye, and all around my head. And I could feel them activating a frequency or a vibration there. And then about a month or two later, in a meditation, they moved down and they were spiraling and circling around my heart, doing the same thing. But this time, by that time, it was, I think it was around June of last year. By that time, I had learned that they weren't seven beings. They're a collective of different beings, masters, angelic beings, ascended masters, elemental beings, energy beings from other dimensions, just a huge collective who represents 7 different energies. So whenever you hear me talk about them as the 7, it's not 7 of them, it's a multitude, and they represent these 7 different energies that they've come through me to share with us that are vital to our growth and evolution as humans, as spiritual beings. So when they started spinning, there was like so many of them, I couldn't count. They were just spinning around my heart. And it was, again, they were shooting rainbow colored beams of light, like not just at my heart chakra. Well, yeah, wait, the first time was at my heart chakra. And then about a month or two later, I asked them, can we do another activation? Can we do some more calibration? Because I really want to bring you guys in more. I want to learn more. I want to get more connected. And so then the next time they did something like this, they were spiraling all around my body, and these rainbow beams of light were being shot at every chakra, like even the minor chakras, like everywhere. And it was really cool. It was a lot of cool tingles and great feels. But I felt like at that point, they were sort of like finally opening up and calibrating every single spot of me. And I know there's more to do. The current thing for that with the council is they've called me to come to the Red Rocks, and I'm not supposed to, but I feel that I know that I want to go and visit some of the red rocks and sit in meditation with them, and that the red rock energy, there's something about the red rock energy and the higher dimensions that they come from, that the council comes from, that is supposed to further calibrate and activate me. So yeah, that's my story about the council. They're incredibly loving and silly, and of course, why not? I care about love, and I'm incredibly silly. I call myself a spiritual goofball. So that was a great question. Thank you. Did that answer, Jack? And Jack and Carrie were asking about that. Oh, thanks, Jack. Great question. Hey, April with a Y. Good to see you, dear. Oh, thanks, Jeanette. Yes, it is indeed a blessing, isn't it? And they have so much more to share. In fact, I'm going to go to the housekeeping things. Get ready, my friends. You might have seen this here in my wording down below. Coffee with the Council is starting on April 2nd. This is an idea that came to me last week from the council, well, partially from me and from them. And when I asked them about it, they said, if you commit to doing this for 30 days, not every day, but if you commit to doing this for a 30-day period, this will completely change your life. I am so excited about this. It's a live stream series. It's going to be every weekday starting next Wednesday, April 2nd. It's going to be at 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And I know that that's going to be way too early for some of our dear friends in the future. But I do have a later in the day series planned as well. But I have to get a week or two of the Coffee with the Council under the belt still to see, like how long it's going to be. Right now it's scheduled for half an hour each morning, but it might end up being shorter. The whole point of Coffee with the Council is this great opportunity to sit with the council and receive a message every single weekday that you can take into your day, take into your life. You can use it to inspire you, whatever. And it's an opportunity to get to know them better and to hear their message as well. And for us to come together in community and share that time, sort of just that time of inspiration and insight, and then, have that supportive space to be in. Today, PETA, I started at 1 p.m. my time. So Coffee with the Council is going to start 4.5 hours earlier than this started. Yeah, Jojo, 2:30 in the morning is way too early, and be even earlier for Australia. Let me see if I missed any questions. Oh, Jeanette's going to sit outside. Yay. That was a great question, Jack. Thank you. And Carrie, yes, we weaved in your question too. Alicia asks, how do you know if you're actually channeling or making it up? When I use my selenite sort of light encoded with Ascended Masters, I feel divine feminine and archangel presence, especially when working with them on others. But I often wonder if I'm just imagining it. What's the difference? This, Alicia, is an incredibly good question. So there's two parts to this, okay? The first is, all right, so hold on, I gotta scroll back. Gwen, yes. From now on, I am multi-streaming all the IT lives on the Tube of Views at the same time. So they will be immediately available on my channel there. And if you don't have access to that, you just go to my teacher link. You can find access to all my stuff, my Insight Timer profile, all my socials, any event that's coming up that I'm hosting, pretty much everything, all the past videos, anything. So yeah, all of the Coffee with the Council will be available on the Tube of Views, as I like to call it. Okay, so Alicia's question is super, super important, so I want to get back to it. So Alicia, close your eyes for a second and just listen as I explain. The question keeps scrolling and it won't hold still. I wish I could just leave it in one spot. Let's see if I can do that. Monica, hello, sweetheart. Nice to see you. So good to see you. Okay, so Alicia's question, this is for everybody, okay? So super, super important. If you look at Alicia's question, how do you know if you're actually channeling or making it up? Okay? And she's wondering what the difference is. And she says that she can feel the presences and whatnot. So there's two things going on here. The question is partially coming from the mind and from a belief that says, which is hard, is like, this is a big one for us culturally, and this is a huge shift from the 3D to the 4D. But it's the question, it's the belief in the mind that if it is not physical, made up of physical, it must not be real. So here's the incredibly cool thing about this. There is no difference if you are using your imagination to tap into collective wisdom or some kind of insights or something, and that what you are receiving feels good, feels light, feels freeing, is filled with love, is infused with positive energy, right? And we know what good feels like. We know when something energetically feels better than when it's something that energetically doesn't feel good. We can recognize these things. Yes, some people are more practiced at it and therefore more skilled at recognizing it quicker, but we all have the capacity to do that from our heart. So the key thing here, Alicia, is disengaging the mind's attempt at analyzing whether something is real, because the truth is, the physical isn't real. It's an illusion. It's a projection of what our thinking is. So if the physical isn't real and the mind lives in the physical, it's never going to fully be able to grasp those kind of energies that you're bringing in through your selenite sword and that I'm bringing in through the channel, through the channeling state. And for me, how I know it's different, and this goes back to another question that somebody had about where do I feel the Council of Seven coming in. So this is really fascinating. You might have heard me do my little invocation when I begin to call them in and invite them in. That happens in my heart. The whole invocation is so filled with love. The very end of the invocation is, we thank you and we love you very much. And it's just, it blows my heart wide open. I just feel this enormity of love. And then I feel them coming in, energetic blocks. I feel them coming in. They don't really enter me, okay? That's the thing. They're not somewhere else. I'm just expanding myself in order to be able to receive the blocks of energy and thought that they are basically always broadcasting. Bashar talks about, Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar, talks about that he's just a translator. And in a lot of ways, I agree with that. In other ways, I feel like I'm existing with them on a different level when I invite them in. But it's not like I'm inviting them in from out. It's like I am expanding large enough to able to include within my field, to include them. And so what happens is then I start getting blocks of thought coming in through the crown chakra and through the third eye. I feel them in my head. I'm in this vast loving space, and then my mind and my mouth can actually translate them. And sometimes it's hard to translate and put words to, because the blocks of thought, it's fascinating. For me, they almost come through like a movie, or they'll come through as like I'll get I'll get this sense of the entirety of the message, but then I have to break it down into words and deliver it in pieces. So that's a fascinating experience as well, because as I'm discussing one aspect of what I felt from the message, I can still feel the rest of the message, the rest of that block of thought, that rest of that energy block, if you will. I can feel it sort of hovering and lingering around and waiting for my mouth and my mind to be able to catch up with what it's all about. So it's really, really, it's a beautiful state to be in. And I come out of it quite often feeling a little teary-eyed, or just feeling just so open and sweethearted. If that's a verb, sweethearted. And it's so nourishing, and yeah, it's heart expansion. I agree, Madeline. It feels really good, and I feel different. I feel like I've accessed something. I mean, it's fascinating too, because I think there's a common misperception about channeling and about our own connection to source. I think as humans, when we're coming from the mind, like my experience in life has been very frequently, when I get caught in the mind, it's because I have this expectation or belief that I need to know everything. And the mind just doesn't have access to it all. The heart also, the heart has access to it all, but it's different. It's not like the heart has access to a massive library. It's like the heart has access to a conduit through which, when the right question is asked, or when one of you asks a question, then the information gets downloaded. So it's not like it's stored constantly. And so I had this experience yesterday. Gwen was my Ask Her Helper for this recording we do every month for my newsletter group called Questions for the Council. And so Gwen asked this one question, and it was a great question, and I can't even remember which one it was. Maybe Gwen does. And the council said, after they answered it, they said, "Thank you for your question. This was information that we had not previously been aware of." And I was like, oh, that's interesting. The council doesn't know everything, but they have access to that knowledge, but only when a particular question that is seeking that knowledge is asked, then the universe delivers it. And that's true not just for the council, that's true for all of us. And when you think about that, that creates a whole new framework and perspective for us to consider regarding what knowledge is. It's not data. It's not factual. It's not these bits of information, which is what the mind is usually wanting. The mind is wanting a very concrete answer or a very specific answer from the past, present, or future, right? The heart is just like, oh, I'll know what I need to know when I need to know it. And the heart stays connected. It's like the heart has an all seasons library card, and it can go into the library anytime that it needs to, and it just knows which aisle and which book stack to go to, and it grabs the right book, and it gets the information it needs, right? The mind walks into the library and thinks, I need a subscription, or I need a membership, and I've got to get this card, and I've got to do it right, and I have to follow all the rules, and then I need to go to the index thing, and I need to look up under this one particular topic, and I need to search all of this, that, and the other thing, and then I'm probably going to have to go through at least half a dozen different book stacks, and then and each book stack I'm going to have to go through at least a dozen different books, and then maybe by the end of the day I'll go home and have found a book that answers my question, right? Whereas the heart is just like, hi, here's my pass on the way in, and the heart's just like, I'm going to go over to here to book stack 12, and it's going to be on the third shelf, and I just know, and the minute I see, the heart's like, oh, the minute I see the book, it's going to light up and it's going to glow, and I'm going to know that's the one that I'm supposed to pick, and then it picks it up and it knows exactly what page to turn to. It had no idea walking into the library door of where any of that was. It just followed one step at a time, like each step forward. So understand also that knowledge is not something that is, somebody wrote, knowledge is encoded in the universe. It's not that the knowledge is encoded. It's that the access to knowledge is encoded. Very important distinction, my friends. The access to knowledge is encoded, because if you think about it, in my belief system at least, and I know many others and many of yours, the universe is constantly expanding. What does that mean? That means knowledge, information is constantly expanding. There's points that, think about when Edison sat down to create a light bulb, and they talk about, some people say, oh, you failed like 100 or 1,000 times or whatever, and he goes, no, I just discovered 100 different ways not to make a light bulb, but eventually he made a light bulb, right? So the fact is, the knowledge of the existence of a light bulb was the vision that he sought, that he held and he sought. I don't know his whole story. And he tried, and he kept trying until he, quote unquote, discovered it. He didn't make something new, but he was consistent in his access to the higher knowledge, and he believed that a light bulb was possible. But he had to go through all these iterations to find out what it was. And in that moment, the universe, every time he made an attempt, the universe expanded. It expanded a little bit more, and it brought in a little bit more information to him and to others, and it brought in a little bit more experience for him in creating the light bulb. And so it's not like it was created out of thin air, because everything just is, it exists. But, I mean, energy just is, right? So it was created, though, and that knowledge was discovered. So it's just fascinating to think about it that way. Okay, I feel like I missed a bunch of questions because I saw it scrolling by. Does anybody want to be my helper and let me know what I missed? You are blessed. I have a question. Jeanette, go ahead and ask it, sweetheart. Madeline asks, what was your word you mentioned before that about being a channel? Before I started doing my live streams on Insight Timer in December 2023, I considered myself a channel for love. Basically, allowing love to flow through me and holding a space of love for other people and just bringing love into all my services and actions and anything I did. It's the most fulfilling experience for me, is just hold a space of love. And loving allowance is one of my mottos. That was another thing I said. Coffee with the Council. You're 5 a.m. today, Peter? Oh wow, this is really right. But Peterbrook, have you guys made the time change, or you don't make the time change in Queensland, do you? I can't remember. Deborah, good question. What form did the council show itself? I did answer that a little bit earlier, but at first it was, well, it's always been energetic, but at first it was an image of 7 beings on a cloud hovering over my head, and they were all hooded, cloaked figures. It was very mysterious. But now they're purely just energy. I don't actually see them. I feel them more than seeing anything. I think that was just because I'm a very visual person. Although I don't get the most vivid of visualizations. I'm more of I'm like a visual sensing sort of person. But they came to me visually, I think, because that was the best way for me to understand and recognize that some beings were coming to me, if that makes any sense. Oh, it sounds like when they open the window and fresh air. It's sort of like that, I guess. Yeah, it is a very refreshing feeling. Oh, thanks, Peter Brook. That's a fabulous explanation that resonates. I feel like, did I miss Jeanette's question? It's so hard to scroll through this on a small monitor. Thanks for your patience, guys. So the Coffee with the Council, 3 p.m. in mid-Europe? Really? Oh, that's cool, Madeline. Yeah, the first week and a half is up on my profile, so you can sign up for any of the Coffee with the Councils. Come any days of the week that you want. Hey, Linda, good to see you. How have you been? So nice to see you. Hey, Hannah, good to see you. Hi, Iga. Oh, wow, I haven't seen Iga in ages. Hi, how are you? Okay, I'm getting caught up. I'm getting caught up. Carrie says you're calling them in like a call in the universal energy of Reiki. Yes, I am calling them in. Although on my own, I don't necessarily need to do the invocation. I just say, hey, hi, council. So at some point, I probably won't need the invocation. Hannah says, this is so interesting. I get mostly visual information from my guides. The loving feeling is hard to put words to. It is, isn't it? It's far bigger than just love. It is like this presence. This is-ness. I love this word, this new word I've started using just as of yesterday, this is-ness. Jeanette says, that is so cool. Knowledge is encoded in the universe. Yep, well, we already talked about that. Hannah says, we're not designed to hold all the information. Well said, Hannah, all the time. We just get what we need in the moment. Absolutely. Absolutely agree. Like a bridge, yes. Madeline says, the access to knowledge is encoded in the universe. It's even encoded in our DNA, in our very beingness. All right, Alicia. Wow, thanks. Close my eyes as you explained that, My third eye and crown just tingling like crazy as white shining light beamed down through both. Felicia, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. How freaking cool. Jeanette is this your question, sweetheart? I have headaches and I was hoping for confirmation that this is my third eye opening. All right, Jeanette, hold still, my dear. Close your eyes. Okay, so the very first thing that I'm picking up on, and then I think the council has a message for you, Jeanette. The very first thing I'm picking up on is I'm getting this ping-pongy kind of energy, and it's ping-ponging between your head and your heart, okay? And it's not... The quality of the ping-ponging is not slow, but not fast. So it's, you've had headaches very frequently since the lunar eclipse, and I'm asking for demonstration. This is me stepping into the fifth dimension. Well, the fifth dimension is completely non-physical, so you could be stepping into the fifth dimension, but more likely you're stepping into the fourth density. I like to speak in terms of densities because to me there are dimensions and densities. Yes, lunar eclipse. Okay, so close your eyes and see if you can feel into this ping-ponging energy between your heart and your head, okay? And again, when I do energy readings, I never claim that I'm not attached to being right or wrong. I'm just picking up on something, and it may or may not be what is true for you. So Okay, the council definitely wants to talk to you, but I'm just going to finish up with this ping-ponging energy. Can you feel this ping-ponging energy? So it is something that is traversing. It's almost like a ball of light, and it is moving at about this pace. I don't know how to describe it if you watch my hand going up and down. And it might, on occasion, linger in one location and then go back to the other. This is creating a bit of an instability, but it is also... Oh, wow. The pathway between your heart and your third eye is being rewired. Okay, so this is a recalibration for you. Okay, so they're saying, oh, they love this for you. Oh, they love this for you. I have to take a drink because I'm a little parched. They're loving this for you. However, sorry, creating suspense by saying however and then taking a drink. I didn't mean it. Didn't mean to create that suspense. This is recalibrating you, but you're having these moments where your mind is coming back in. You're trying to clear ancestral lineage. There's nothing to clear. There's nothing to clear except your beliefs that you have carried forward from them. And that's something that you do in the moment. And so this week, oh wow, they're just sharing so much interesting, really cool information. So they're saying that this is a recalibration for you, but that there are these times during that recalibration in which that ball of energy lingers in the mind. And it'll linger in the heart too, for particular different purposes. But in specific, when it lingers in the mind, what's happening is the mind's, your beliefs and your definitions that are outdated are engaging in that moment. And so what it's doing is it's temporarily pausing and halting the recalibration process. And I can't think of the machine I think there's a machine where something moves like this and you're wanting it always to be moving, right? And so when the mind is kicking in, and it's these moments of overthinking, it's these moments of trying to evaluate or analyze. Your task for the mind during this recalibration, they're really heavily emphasizing, is to just be the mindful observer and to be an allower, allowing the recalibration to continue. Because what we're all being called to, or I should say, what we all have the opportunity to do right now, which is this is what I'm about to say ties back to one of the questions we had at last week's live about the shift. But the main essence is we're all having the opportunity to shift from the third density, which is purely physical, into the fourth density. The fourth density is a state of being. It's not a place, it's a state of being. It's a state of is-ness in which we are still fully in the physical, but that our perspective, large by I forget the phrase, the majority of our perspective on a regular, consistent basis is coming from the fifth dimension, or from the fifth density, from the vibration of love. And this is why it's a choice between love and fear, because when you choose fear, you're making the choice with your mind. When you choose love, you're making it with the heart. So when you more consistently follow however you want to think about it, Bashar's excitement formula, listening to my heart, following my joy, whatever, however you wish to think about it. But for you particularly, Jeanette, it's catching that, and I know you can do this. The council actually is like, we know you can do this. We know you've done this already, but there's a little bit of mindlessness at certain points. You're getting distracted by the 3D. And that's when this ball of energy that's recalibrating it will get stuck in the third eye. And that might be why you're getting the headaches, because they're getting stuck there. It's getting stuck there. And then the mind is attempting to analyze, understand, comprehend, and quantify, their words, not mine, what is happening. This is not an understandable, quantifiable, analytical experience. Okay? This is an experience of your true essential nature that you are being recalibrated for, and it starts from here. The mind can't get you there, can't get any of us there. The mind is capable of perceiving and understanding information about the fourth density, but it is not capable of going there. It is not capable of experiencing it other than being an allower and an observer. The heart lives in the fifth and fourth and third. It lives in all dimensions and all densities. The heart has the capacity to make that shift. The physical brain, I think, ultimately does as well, because in order to move into the fourth density, we'll still be physical. So hopefully this makes a little bit more sense. I think that the headaches are coming from this moment of stuckness. It could be coming from fear. It could be coming from attachment to the ancestral lineage stuff. It could be coming from an old belief or a meaning that you assigned to something that no longer serves you, or that you might, if you really looked at that belief or that definition, you might just laugh at it and then be able to let it go. Okay, this is resonating. Fantastic. Beautiful question. Beautiful question. Thank you for your asking. I love the term is-ness too, Carrie. Gwen, do I have permission to share a little bit what we were talking about yesterday? I don't mean your specifics, but the answer that the council gave. Okay. So Gwen and I were talking about something that she's been experiencing lately. Well, she and the council, and then she and I talked about it after the council talked to her. You're welcome, Jeanette. It's so nice to have you here. It's so good to see you. Jeanette's like one of my longest term, I think like one of my first friends on the app, so to speak. So I'm always happy to see you, Jeanette. Much love to you. So Gwen was talking about a particular vision that she's having, and she's been working on visualizations of seeing it done. And the council encouraged her to know it as done. And when I came out of the channeling state and we talked about it a little bit more, I could sense that the word done was tripping her up, because every time I asked her, how does it feel? Or, what does done mean to you? She would just fall back, this is not a bad thing, this is just what was happening. She would fall back on descriptions of the progress of the vision, of how the vision was progressing and unfolding. And for a moment I was like, well, that we're close, but we're not quite there yet. And then I realized that the council wasn't talking about done from a human sense. They were talking about existence. Is-ness. And so we ended up talking about how it was more powerful, that visualizing that it was done is helpful, but visualizing and knowing that it is, that it exists, knowing its is-ness is even more powerful, because then we're tapping into its actual frequency of existence, its vibration of existence, and we're letting go of the path that needs to be taken to get there. When you know that something is, when you just know in your heart that something is, it doesn't matter how you get there. I had this experience earlier this week. My boss gave me a project and I was beginning it on Tuesday, and I thought I made great progress, and then he threw some wrenches into it and said, I need XYZ or whatever. And I woke up Wednesday morning and I was thinking, this is going to be a lot harder than I thought. And I'm kind of dreading working on this project today. And I know that like end of day is my timeline, loose timeline, but I knew I wanted to finish it by end of Wednesday. And in my meditation, all of a sudden I remembered, wait a minute, my future self has already completed the project. It's done. It is done, right? So I'm not going to conjugate the verb there. It is done. It is equals done. Oh, that's cool. I just came up with that. It is equals done. That was what I was sensing. And the minute I knew its is-ness, I completely changed my perspective on the project. And all of a sudden I thought, if I know that it is already, if I know that it is done, then my job isn't to figure out how to get it done. My job is to show up one piece at a time and go on an adventure. And I suddenly got curious and excited about how this story would unfold, knowing, 100% knowing that the project would be completed before the end of the day. And not just completed, not just like thrown together, but completed well, completed in a fulfilling way that served both my boss's needs and what the data needed. So I don't know if that's making sense to anybody, but thanks to Gwen, I was able to get into a little bit deeper understanding of this. So it is equals done. So be it, and so it is. Wow, we've been at this for an hour and 12 minutes. That's amazing. Does anyone else have more questions? Did I miss something? It's so good having you all here. It is reassuring, Peter. That's exactly the point. When we know that something is, we can let go and relax and just allow it to unfold before us. Try it on. Try it on for size. See how it feels. I think that message is designed to help us get further out of our minds and back into our hearts. Because the heart has the capacity to feel that something is. The mind needs that quantifiable proof, right? It needs the confirmation. It needs the validation. It's not about knowledge. It's about recording data. If the mind can't record the data, it can't connect to the is-ness. Whereas the heart's like, I just know this is true. The heart's just like this little innocent person saying, I know this is true. And if I know it's true, then I know all is well. And that I know, it's like when you have those moments in meditation where you know that you are essentially spirit, when you know and feel that you are essentially indestructible spirit in a physical body. And then you have those moments of knowing that, feeling the is-ness, and you're just like, all is well. All is well. Peter, I am and feel lighter about some goals. Oh, that's beautiful. Jackie says amazing. Jeanette says I love it. Hi, Linda. When I was working with a big project, I do something similar. I told myself in 48 hours or whatever time frame, I'll be done with it. That's different. It is similar, but it is energetically, it's very different. It's still a good tool, but in that case, you're reassuring your mind. Whereas what I'm talking about is tapping into the is-ness. Here we are using this incredibly wild and fun word that could mean so so many different things. Gwen says, yes, we don't have to worry. We can just enjoy the ride. Yep. Love it. Sister Sunshine, good to see you. What else, guys? Questions, answers, comments? What are you curious about? We'll go for another 15 minutes, I think. Yeah, and then I am going to go play. Carrie says, I'm curious about what you. What you? What you? You mean which you? Who am I today? Oh, what I play. Oh, Sister's asking that too. Oh, Gwen, thank you. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to stay in touch, so let me do a little bit more housekeeping. So I am, as many of you know, I used to do 2 to 3 lives a week, and then I took a break for a while and was doing 1 or none a month, which was a huge decrease. And it was an appropriate time because I was very transient. I was kind of living nomadically and looking for my place to call home, and trying to get a job together, and a bunch of stuff was going on. So I just didn't have the energy for the lives. Now that I'm settled, I am really invigorated, and one of my primary goals or purposes for this year is to do whatever I can to promote, encourage, and grow lives on Insight Timer. They're getting some love from the company this year with some brand new features that are coming for the teachers to use. Some stuff that some of us, like myself, have been asking for a few years, and just really exciting stuff. For me personally, I'm stepping out to really shine this year. So that's why I'm doing Coffee with the Council. And the other one, I haven't quite gotten the name settled. It will be an afternoon one, and it's either Soulful Snacks for Spiritual Seekers or Spiritual Snacks for Soulful Seekers. I haven't decided on the title yet. Anyways, you're going to be seeing a lot more stuff from me on Insight Timer. I have also committed to recording my first ever course, recording it in April, and hopefully it releases in April. I haven't committed to an April release or a May release, but I'm committed to creating the course in April. And of course, I have to balance that with doing the coffee with the council, because that's the most important thing. Spiritual snacks. Okay, spiritual snacks for soulful seekers. Is that what you guys like, or do you like soulful snacks for spiritual seekers? A course is fantastic. So I know the name of the course. It's going to be called 7 Days, 7 Chakras, A Journey Through Your Sacred Self. It's based on a workshop that I'm going to be offering in the coming months. I haven't figured out a time or what for that. You like spiritual snacks too? Okay, good. We'll go with spiritual snacks for soulful seekers. I love that. Anyways, there's a lot going on. So if you want to stay in touch, definitely check out my teachers link. I have all my various stuff there. I'm not supposed to promote too much, and I used to do that more, and I'm not going to now. But the best way to find out about everything I'm doing is through my newsletter. So thank you for mentioning that, Jeanette. However, we're going to be together every weekday if you want to come join us. So what else we have for questions? Madeline says, thank you, Craig. It's been a delight to listen to you tonight. Loving allowance and so much resonate with me. Oh, wonderful, Madeline. I'm glad you got something that you can take with you in your heart. Madeline likes spiritual snacks too. Okay. So Coffee with the Council, let's wrap up housekeeping. Coffee with the Council is going to be a daily message from the council. I don't know what they're going to talk about, but we'll have a brief time of visiting just to check in and say hi with each other and have a little community time. And then the council will give us a message, and then that'll be it. So this will be a short and sweet thing. So if it's something that you're going to be wanting to show up for, I strongly suggest that you arrive on time or close to the beginning. So this will not be the kind of live that there just won't be enough time to pop in necessarily too late. Now, spiritual snacks, which by the way is my dear friend Jenny's idea. Spiritual snacks is going to be different. So if has anyone attended many of you have attended my readings lives? So as many of you know, I use what's called the Wheel of Names. So I got you with coffee, right? Yeah, I don't even drink coffee, but we're going to have coffee together. Beautiful coffee communal time. hanging out at a cafe together is the way I think about it. So thank you, Carrie, for your donation. I very much appreciate you sharing that with me. And thank you to anybody who feels called to donate or follow or listen to my tracks or reach out to me or whatever. I love any and all of it. It is much appreciated. And us as teachers on Insight Timer, it really means a lot to us whenever you do any of those things. It just really, for me, it touches my heart. Anyways, spiritual snacks, we're going to use the wheel of names, but instead of taking individual questions from people and putting people's names in, I'm going to be asking you guys for topics or themes to put in the wheel. And then we're going to spin the wheel, and the council's going to speak to that topic or theme that the wheel picks. So I'm pretty excited about that one. I still have to sort of figure out how to put it together and all. So it's gonna be readings. It's gonna be really different. So like, yeah, it is cool. I like it. Thank you. I'm glad you guys appreciate it. So instead of coming in with a specific question, you know, instead of asking your question, you would give out the topic, say, difficult relationships, or life purpose, or the shift in the world, or whatever. You just throw out a topic, and then we'll spin the wheel, and like the wheel always does, the universe picks the exact right thing from the wheel, and then the council will answer that. Yeah, the wheel is super fun for lives, Sister Sunshine. It's thanks to my dear friend Rev J for introducing me to that. So, all right. Any more questions for me? Hannah says, I have some goals for the week. I will tap into the is-ness to get through the stages. Yes, I love that for you. Gwen. It will be fun, V. Yes, thank you. I haven't scheduled it yet. I wanna see. I don't know how much time. I don't know if we're gonna need a full half hour for Coffee with the Council. It might only end up being 15 or 20 minutes. I kind of want to see how that goes. I'm going to be monitoring my energy flow for the day. But I did tell the council that I am committed to doing this throughout April. And then who knows? We'll see. Maybe this becomes a regular thing. I may not do it every weekday from after April. I might do it every other weekday, sort of a thing. Hannah says, will you and Rev J be collaborating on a live? Yes, we are meeting. She's going through she's going through the process of moving right now. So she wants to get settled, and she has some physical challenges that she's wanting to have settled down, but we're going to be meeting. So Rev J and Rev J is also a channel. She channels this beautiful group called Peshma. And Jackie Mancuso, who's also a teacher here on Insight Timer, is going to be our hostess with the mostest. So we're going to do a channeling collab where Jackie's going to host, and she'll read off your guys' questions, and then Rev J and I will be in channeling, and we'll answer those questions. And so that we're really excited because Rev J and I are really good friends, but we've never gotten together and channeled. So it's going to be pretty cool to see how that unfolds. So yeah, well, we'll know more about that. Well, that won't be happening anytime soon. It'll probably be more of a late April, early May thing, but we're going to be meeting about that next week to discuss it. So thank you for asking, Hannah. Tosca, Greg, I've never been to one of your sessions before, but thank you so much. I've learned a lot. You're welcome, Tosca. Please do follow. Welcome to come back. I do try to post. Also, we have a beautiful group on Insight Timer called Circle of Love. I'm probably going to be changing the name soon, because Circle of Love is what I started with, but as is all things in my spirit, sorry, I'm adjusting my socks and pants, this is why I'm leaning forward into the camera. As is all things in my life, spirituality that once was is no longer, and it constantly changes, and so I'm going to be changing the name of our group on Insight Timer, but I will often post extra notices there about a live that I'm doing, because sometimes, as we recently saw, the app can have tech glitches and you won't be able to get all your notifications. I know, Hannah, right? So much to look forward to, she says. And welcome, Tosca. It's nice to have you in the community. Thank you for being here. Has anyone else been new today? First time? Never been here with us? Aw, thank you, Jack. I so appreciate you. And I have a new issue of the newsletter coming out this weekend, I believe, because Gwen and I just recorded the current questions for the council, which was really lovely. Anyways, more questions for me while we have just a few minutes left, or are we complete, my friends? I need more water. Oh, Harry, you asked about what I play. I play video games. You probably knew that already. The kind of video games that I like to play are ones that either have like the hero's journey, where you go on a noble quest to, not necessarily save the princess, although those I do enjoy those, but save the world or solve a problem or whatever. I like puzzle games as well. And the ones that are mostly dear to my heart are either science fiction based, or my most favorite are basically fantasy fiction. So think like Lord of the Rings or Chronicles of Narnia type style. I played a beautiful Harry Potter game a couple of years ago. I'd been waiting like decades to play a Harry Potter game, and one came out that was so good that I felt like I was a student at Hogwarts. And that, I gotta tell you, was one of the most amazing stories and immersive experiences that I've ever had. So I play games for the experience and because they give me great joy. I started playing them at a very difficult time in my life, and many people thought I was escaping, but while it was sort of an escape to a certain degree, it wasn't a negative escape. I was in a period where I had lost everything and was sleeping from my car, and I needed something to ground me in a different positive perspective that wasn't visible in my immediate surroundings. When you're sleeping in your car and you're going to bed at sunset and waking up at sunrise and you're in your car, it's very challenging and very scary. So I started to play online video games, and they kept my imagination afloat, basically. They kept me connected to something that felt good, something that felt joyful, something that was a good experience. And eventually it ended up becoming a really wonderful social experience as well. And now these days, I mean, as much as I love the games, the social experience, the virtual social experience for me is here on our beautiful Insight Timer lives. So, V, you're new too? Oh, wonderful. I hope to see you back another time. We're glad to have you here with us. New digs are great, Peterbrook. I will show you I don't have it decorated. Hold on, let me not muck things up here. There it is. There's my closet. That's my door. Where's my door? There's my door. That's my closet. This is the first closet that I have had. Where's it? Over there. It's the first closet I've had in 15 years. This is huge for me. Of course, there's nothing much else going on, which is why I'm still using virtual backgrounds. And this is my beautiful new chair that I just bought last weekend. So lots of fun new things. It's not a huge room, but it is really cozy for me and comfortable, and it is a beautiful environment nearby. I like the color of the wall too. Yeah, and I got I have kind of like a gray off-white theme going on in here, which a gray-black off-white theme. So fantasy, Nancy, yes. I used to read a lot, but I don't read a lot as much anymore because I do most everything online. It is grounding. You're right. It's good to be in one place now. Although I've only been in the apartment for not even 2 weeks yet, but I feel at home and I feel cozy, and I'm looking forward to exploring the area when I get a chance. And I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys more now that I have a good internet connection and a place to sit and a place to sleep and a place to eat. It's all good. So my friends, it is 1 hour and 29 minutes. I do too. I love the new chair. Oh, you can't see it anymore. This is the best chair I've ever had. I love this chair. I'm currently playing a game called Soul Frame. It's not fully released yet, so I got in early access, and I love it. It's been so much fun, and you go around cleansing nature, saving animals, fighting bad guys, and getting to use different magics and weapons and things. That's one of my favorite kind of ways to play a game. So, and my new games now are going to be more live streams and this course. I'm really excited about this course. I will keep you guys posted. It'll be my first ever content for courses, and I'm hoping to have more tracks, free and eventually premium. But those, I think the course is the next big push. So that's all the news that's fit to print. Any final questions for me, my friends? Otherwise, I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy the rest of the day. Certainly hope that you do as well. Thank you for being here, all of you. It is so great to spend time again, and we'll be able to spend time on a regular basis. Can't think of anything else. I think I'm pretty much tapped out. Peter Brook asks, will you post some pics of the surrounds on that other platform, please? Oh, great idea. Yes, I'll do that now. I have some beautiful pictures of the mountains. Oh my God, stunning mountains, literally like right outside from the apartment. It's really cool. I will do that, Peter. Thank you for asking. You're welcome. All right, my friends, I'm going to send you off. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for your love and appreciation and your presence. Thank you for being a member of Insight Timer in this amazing community. And thank you for being part of our beautiful little community here. And I look forward to seeing whoever shows up this coming Wednesday, April 2nd, for the inaugural Coffee with the Council. Make sure you have your cup or whatever you're drinking. Oh, it's nice to see you, Peter Brook. I'm always happy to see my friend Peter Brook. All right, I'm going to send you guys off, and I will bid you adieu, and much love and appreciation to all of you. Be well and take good care of your hearts today.